Introduction. Welcome to the United Nations Police English Language Assessment. This assessment consists of two parts, the reading comprehension and the audio comprehension. The instructions to both parts will be clearly explained before we commence. The use of any computer devices, microphones, books, external notes, or assistance from others is not permitted. We expect full compliance and good conduct during this test. Any candidates who fail to observe appropriate conduct will be excluded from the assessment process, and the incident will be communicated in writing to the authorities of the member state concerned and to the SAAT coordinator in the UN Police Division. Part 1 is the reading comprehension. You will be given a mission-related story with a question and answer sheet which contains 10 questions related to the key facts of the story. You will also be given a blank sheet of paper for your note-taking. Any notes that you take on the blank sheet you are allowed to keep throughout the exam. Read the text very carefully. You may write on the test as you wish. You will not be graded for any marking made on the test itself, only on the question and answer sheet. After reading the test, answer the 10 questions on the question and answer sheet. Be sure to include the entire key fact in your answer. It is not necessary to write in grammatically complete sentences. It is highly recommended that you use the blank sheet of paper for important notes from the reading. These notes will be essential for Part 2 of the assessment. You will be able to keep only the sheet of paper with your notes for the second part of the exam. Keep the test and question and answer sheet face down until you are asked to start. You will have 20 minutes to complete the reading comprehension. The instructor will indicate when these 20 minutes begin. The instructor will then announce when there are 5 remaining minutes and there is 1 final minute. After the 20 minutes have passed, the instructor will collect the reading test and the question and answer sheet. You will keep the written notes that you made on the blank sheet of paper for the second part of the assessment. Please write your full name, your individual test serial number, and other details clearly in the space provided on the question and answer sheet you receive. Good luck. Introduction. This is the second section of the UNPOL Combined Language Assessment. It is divided into 2 parts. In the first part, you will hear one person describing the mission-related topic you have just read about in the reading comprehension. It will be introduced as the narrative. In the second part, you will hear a conversation between 2 people who are discussing the same mission-related topic. It will be introduced as the dialogue. Please be reminded that the use of any computer devices, microphones, books, external notes, or assistance from others is not permitted. Candidates who fail to observe appropriate conduct during this test will be excluded from the assessment process. Such actions will be duly noted and communicated in writing to the authorities of the member state concerned and to the SAAT coordinator in the UN Police Division. You will be given a report writing form and another blank sheet of paper. Take careful notes on the blank sheet of paper of both the narrative and the dialogue. Pay attention to the important facts and key information. You will hear the recording only one time. Once the narrative and dialogue are finished, you will be asked to use your notes from both the reading and the audio parts to write down your own complete police report. You will have 30 minutes to complete your police report. The instructor will indicate when these 30 minutes begin. The instructor will then announce when there are 5 minutes remaining and when there is 1 final minute. Please do not forget to write your full name, your individual test serial number, and other details clearly in the spaces provided on the report writing sheet. Good luck. Narrative.
At 11:15 hours on 8 January 2012, the prison manager of Man Prison, Miss Susan Doe, contacted UNPOL and requested them to visit the prison. Miss Doe stated that one of the inmates, Mr. Jerry Smith, said he had important information concerning the attempted escape on 4 January 2012. UNPOL Patrol 2830 arrived at the prison at 1300 hours the same day and met with Mr. Smith, aged 67 years. He had been a prisoner in Man Prison since 2007, convicted of drug trafficking. Because of his age, Mr. Smith was respected by the other prisoners. In 2010, 3 new prisoners arrived in Man Prison. They were all members of a gang called Flying Lions. Mr. George Claude was their informal leader. These 3 prisoners had a bad influence on the other prisoners by using threats and physical violence. It was well known among all inmates that Mr. Claude was going to lead the Flying Lions and some other prisoners in an escape on 4 January 2012. Mr. Smith did not support this idea. Therefore, Mr. Smith was threatened by Flying Lions, saying they would hurt him and also get help from outside prison to hurt his family, if he said anything. Mr. Smith took these threats seriously, as all the weapons that were seized after the attempted escape, in total 17, were made by Mr. Claude. According to Mr. Claude, they were getting help from outside the prison by other members of Flying Lions to escape. He also said that one of the prison guards, whose name was not known to Mr. Smith, was helping them to pass messages in and out of prison. Mr. Smith described this guard as the tallest one among prison staff. This guard had been promised a share of the money from a bank robbery that Flying Lions planned after the escape. Now Mr. Smith was requesting UNPOL to protect him and his family. As the prison escape failed, he could be blamed for it, and the Flying Lions could take it out on his family. Mr. Smith was going to be released on 15 February 2012. It would be devastating if anything would happen to him or his family at this point. Knowing the background of the Flying Lions, the UNPOL patrol understood how serious the situation was for Mr. Smith and his family. Therefore, they promised to follow up with local authorities and UNPOL chain of command to ensure witness protection.
Dialogue.
Police officer. I am conducting an interview in reference to the attempted escape from Man Prison at 1800 hours on 4th January 2012. Can you explain your role in this incident?
Witness. My name is Jerry Smith, and I have been an inmate in Man Prison since 2009. I was convicted of drug trafficking.
Please, go ahead and tell us what you know.
2 years ago, 3 new prisoners arrived here. They were all members of a gang called Flying Lions. Mr. George Claude was their informal leader.
Did their arrival have any impact on life in the prison?
Oh, indeed. They had bad influence on the other inmates and took power by threats and even physical violence.
Were you involved in any of their activities?
No, but I knew that Mr. Claude was making a lot of weapons that he was hiding in different places in the prison. All 17 weapons that were seized after the attempted escape were done by him.
Did you hear any rumors about the planning of this escape?
Yes, I did. Some of the younger prisoners came to me seeking advices, as they were going to take part in the escape. Some of them because they wanted to, and some because they were forced to by the members of the gang.
What advice did you give these inmates who came to you?
I encouraged them to not take part in this plan.
Was your advice known by the members of the Flying Lions?
Yes, it was. The 3 members of Flying Lions approached me and threatened to hurt me and my family if I ratted. I felt no doubt that they were serious about these threats. They told me that they were going to get support from members of the Flying Lions outside prison and that they were going to rob a bank once they had escaped.
How could they communicate with persons outside the prison?
They talked about one of the prison guards, whose name was never mentioned, but I know it is the tallest of all the guards in the prison. This guard had assisted them by passing messages in and out from prison. For that, he was promised a share in the money from the bank robbery.
How do you feel about the situation now?
I know what these guys are capable of. As the escape did not succeed, I think they might blame me for the failure. I will be released shortly, on 15th February, and it would be terrible if anything happened to me or my family at this stage. Therefore, I beg you to protect me and my family.
As we know the brutal history of the Flying Lions, we can fully understand your worries. We will therefore offer you and your family witness protection. Is there anything else you would like to add?
No, I have told you everything I know. I'm very grateful for what you can offer me and my family.